So if you've been thinking about writing a book that's going to help you get more clients and grow your brand, but you've never really looked into what it really takes to write a book and self-publish it, it's highly possible that you have a couple of myths about the writing process floating around in your head. Myths such as, I can write a book in 30 days or less, or I think I could edit my book in Grammarly Pro by myself. Whew, let me tell you something. Yeah, those are myths. And in this video, I will be debunking 7 myths about writing a book. Because, baby, if you got those thoughts running around your head, you need help right now. Welcome to Writing with Denise Renee. My videos are all about helping you write books and create content that helps you get clients, grows your audience, and expand your opportunities. If this is your vibe, then you've got to subscribe. Now get ready to take notes because we're diving right into this video's topic. Baby, I'm gonna need you to do a little bit of research, okay? And get the myths out of your head. We're gonna jump right in. I think one of the biggest myths and misconceptions that people have is that writing a book is going to take too long. And I think Hollywood has us a little bit twisted up. It's like they're always showing us these movies where people take ages and ages and ages to write. Now, are there some authors who do spend a lot of time on their books? Yes, yes, they do. For example, I just recently learned that Willow Smith has a book out, which I'm now just by nature of who she is and the way that she thinks and the topic that she wrote on, I'm actually interested in checking it out. And she said that it took her 6 years to write it. I partially understand it because she was a teenager when she started writing this book. And then she got together a little bit later with a writing coach, which I will get back to later, to help her round out her ideas and finish off the book and make it publication ready. Depending on the type of book that you're writing, it could take you some time to really research, get details right, make sure you're accurate. And Willow was writing a fiction novel that she really needed to take time to really research these 2 different types of societies and mythologies, et cetera, et cetera. Understandable. But on the other hand, if you are a professional who has experience in a particular area, you've been doing what you've been doing for a little while, you know what you're talking about front to back, it does not have to take 6 years to write a book. Will it take some time to get things right? Yes, yes, it will. But 6 years? No. In my estimation and in my experience, a very realistic time frame that you could think about for writing and getting your book to the point where it's ready for publication, it could go from anywhere from 4 to 9 months. But that time frame is exactly why some people fall into believing myth number 2, or they have wrong assumptions about the myth number 2 that I'm going to talk about. And that is, I can write a book in 30 days or less. Okay, so let me get into this one because this is like one of my biggest pet peeves as a writing coach. I see a lot of my colleagues, other people who do what I do in terms of helping other business people get their books out there. Some people really promote the time frame of getting the book done as a big key seller for their program or for their coaching. So I've seen people promise that you could write a book in 30 days or less, in 28 days or less, in 14 days or less, in 7 days or less, in a weekend, in a day, in a few hours with ChatGPT. Do I think that you can get out a solid first draft within 30 days or less when you know your stuff? Yes. Yes, I do. But I think some people assume that this also means you're going to not only write the book, but it's going to be publication ready in 30 days or less. And that is where I have a little bit of a problem because unless you have a fantastic team all ready to go, who's going to help you with the editing, who's going to help you with all of the production elements, and who's going to help you with the initial marketing, it may not, if you don't have the team in place and the money for that and the know-how to really get to really have things down to a science, I think that's an unrealistic expectation. But I understand why my colleagues promote the time frame, because if you're not a writer, if you're not someone who's willing to spend 6 years researching something in order to write a book, the time frame can be intimidating. Writing a book is not easy. That's why people are out there selling courses on how to write a book and let ChatGPT do it for you. I don't necessarily recommend ChatGPT be the author. I do think it could be a good research tool or an editorial helper, or help you maybe rewrite some sections. But I don't think that you should have ChatGPT or any other type of generative AI writing software be in the driver's seat. And I don't even think that ChatGPT is the best one. If you're really interested in digging into different AI software that's specifically for authors, then I encourage you to check this video out on my channel. But let's get back to this whole issue of the time frame. Like I said, I think that you can get out a fairly decent first draft in 30 days or less, as long as you are super focused, you have absolutely made the time to write, and you have a team behind you. You at least have a writing coach or an editor who you are working with. But again, if you're not there, it's okay. And don't feel bad or ashamed if writing is taking longer than you think it should, because writing is very individual, and writing is a completely different skill from speaking. And that brings me to myth number 3. Some people think that I can write like I speak, dictate my book, and boom, it's ready to publish. No, ma'am. No, sir. Now, I am all for using the voice notes on my phone. That is something that I always am promoting for people to do, especially if you don't feel like a writer and writing is not a well practiced skill for you. I think starting off with your voice notes on your phone is fantastic, and getting it transcribed, because it helps you put words up on the page and you're not staring at a blank page. And now you have something to work with. Now you have something to edit. But to say or to think that just you're going to speak it out and that is the way it's going to be published, no. It is just a means to which you can help yourself get a first draft going as quickly as you possibly can, so that you could just have that momentum for doing your rewrites and your editing. But please, 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 spoken traditions, spoken oratory arts are 100% different from written arts. They're different mediums. What you say, how you say it, your inflection, your body movements, your facial expressions, the inflections and tone of your voice, those can all convey meaning along with what you say. However, you don't get any of that in the written word, unless you're doing an audiobook. But still, you're starting off from the written format, and people have to understand what you mean exactly with the words that you have on the page. That's a skill. That is a way for your true voice and the way that you speak and the way that you stylize language. Can that come through on the page? It absolutely can. And that's why, if you're not very well practiced in the skill of writing, you reach out and get a coach, or you can get a ghostwriter. That brings me to myth number 4. Some people are not interested in getting a ghostwriter because they feel if they have a ghostwriter write their book, it's not going to be their book after all. Myth! No. I promise you, I have ghostwritten a couple of manuscripts myself, and there was no way I could have ever come up with the ideas for those books, because they weren't my experience. They weren't my idea. Once the person shared their ideas with me, I was like, wow, that's pretty dope. That's pretty amazing. Okay, let's help you get this out on paper. And it is completely their book. It's completely their intellectual property. That's why their name goes on the book and not mine. Essentially, a ghostwriter is a human chat GPT, if you will. You give us the prompt and we'll spit out the writing for you. And just like ChatGPT, you may have to tweak some things. We may have to go back and forth to make sure that we get the tone right, we get your choice of words right, and we get your messaging right. There's no shortcuts. And myth number 5 is kind of similar to myth number 4, and that is some people don't want to work with a writing coach or an editor because they feel, if I work with a writing coach or an editor, they're just going to tell me everything that's wrong. And frankly, I don't want to be told that I'm wrong or that my ideas are trash. Listen, when you're working with an editor or you're working with a book writing coach. We are not your enemy. We are your word's best friend. We're here to help you express yourself in a way that's going to be appealing to the most amount of people within your target audience as possible. We're not critiquing your ideas. Well, maybe sometimes we are. But for the most part, it's really, at least I find myself working with my clients, not so much on the ideas, because frankly, if I think that they really don't have a topic, I'm not even going to take on the project. But I'm working with people who have the great ideas, but maybe it's the way that they're saying, it's the way that they're communicating, it's the way that the words are falling on the page that I'm saying, hey, we could do this better. You could reach more people. Here's where you need to really correct your grammar usage or think of different word choices. So we're not trying to tell you that you are a bad person or that you have bad ideas. No, we're trying to help those ideas shine from the page. And to be honest, I'm just going to push back on that just a little bit. If you're so afraid that you don't want an editor or a coach to tell you that your ideas suck, do you want to go through the whole process of writing your book and publishing it, putting out all that money and expense and energy and effort, only for your book to not sell because basically people are saying, your idea wasn't worth us buying? So at least if you have the stopgap of working with that coach or working with that editor, they can help you make your ideas marketable. We're here to help. We're not here to tear you down. And then there are some people who feel, you know what? I'm just going to do this all myself because it can be very expensive to hire coaches and editors. So I'm going to save some money. I'm going to get me Grammarly Pro and edit my book myself. And that, my friends, is myth number 6. Can you edit your own book? There is definitely room and there is definitely a place for self-editing. Yes. But when you're ready to publish a book, no. You want to get your manuscript to the place where it reads as best as you can get it to read. And then you give it to an editor. You have been looking at your stuff for way too long. And this is your idea, baby. You're not objective. Everyone in the world could think your baby is ugly, and you are going to think my baby is the most beautiful baby in the world. That's just the way we are. And you have every right to feel that your baby is beautiful. What an editor is going to do is we're going to put the filters on that baby and make your baby Instagram ready, honey. Okay? So please help us to help you and your idea baby look great when you go out in public. We are more objective than you are. We have not been looking at the same thing over and over. Our eyes are going to catch things that your eyes will miss and that your emotions will blind you to. I mean, when you put a book out there, it is speaking for you on your behalf, getting into places and rooms and spaces that you couldn't be in. Why wouldn't you want that to speak well of you? When you have a lot of grammatical errors or your writing is difficult to read because people can't really understand what you're trying to communicate, that does not look good on you. And especially if you're looking to use your book to help elevate your brand, elevate your business, get you more clients. Well, a book that's unedited ain't gonna do that for you, okay? And yes, I said ain't. Because you can say things out your mouth that just don't necessarily work on paper, okay? Okay. And then here is the last myth. And this is particularly for my people who are looking to get those clients, get those brand deals, get those opportunities for your business. Just because you write a book does not mean people are going to know where to go to find you and work with you. So please do not think that when I write my book, people are just going to automatically look me up on Google, find my website, look up all my socials, follow me, and buy my products. No, they're not. They're just going to read the book. They're going to say, oh, that was cool. That was great. Or I didn't like that. And move on with their lives. What you need to do, you need to be intentional about directing people's attention once they're done reading your book. One of the best things you can do is to put what's considered a lead magnet inside of your book so that people are going specifically there after they finish reading your book, because you have promised them some kind of resource that's going to help them with their journey, with whatever it is that your book topic is helping them with. It is very specific, it is very focused, and it helps lead them down a path that will encourage them to buy from you later. If you want to know more about book funnels, drop the word funnel down in the comment section so that I know to talk a little bit more about it and how to create them on this channel. Do not assume that people are just going to go to the front page of your website and know what to do or know where to go or know what they should even ask for. When people have too many choices, they have a tendency to make no choice at all. And understand, there's so many choices for books, for podcasts, for blogs, for websites, for entertainment, for everything, that if you don't make it easy for people, they are being bombarded constantly all day long with other types of ads and other types of messaging who will tell them what to do, where to go, and how to spend their money and who to spend it with. And if you want that to be you, you cannot leave that to chance. So I hope me breaking down these 7 myths about book writing is helpful for you and helps you put a plan together for the writing and self-publishing of your book. And if you don't know what to do or where to get started, then check out one of these 2 videos next to keep you going on your writing and self-publishing journey.